How many of you like for us to try to keep our open space and infill, even though that's a little harder for all of us, because it means higher density. It means we have to, growing up in San Francisco, it's not as much as an adjustment. But what this initiative is going to do, why don't you go to the next slide. These are the people who are supporting it. And the funding from Ponderosa Homes, does anybody ever know who Carl Berg is?
CEO.
Okay. He is the CEO and he's also a billionaire. He's one of Forbes' top richest people in the country. That's why you keep getting all these flyers. Do you think somebody with that much money is trying to do something for one little plot of land? No. Okay. And as you can see, there are very few people that are signing up for this. When the yes on Measure B people do this presentation, they say, quote, there are 1,100 people on our website that have said that we can publicly post their name. So skeptic that I am, what do you think I did? And guess what else I did? I counted the names. There were 286 names, approximately. They can't tell you the truth about that with something so easily checked. How much truth do you think they're telling you in these flyers on an initiative that's over 300 pages long? Okay, what is this initiative? Okay, it says what it does is it creates a new land use designation, and it's called Senior Housing Overlay. Light industrial, single family, residential, high density, those are all designations for land use. And it says what you can do with a piece of land, right? So they want to create a new one that gives it the Senior Housing Overlay. And that can be applied to any, quote, underutilized employment land in San Jose. What's the definition of an underutilized employment land? Do you think it's in the initiative? No, it's not. And they want to apply this overlay to a piece of land that Carl Berg has in Evergreen. One thing you need to know about this land. That land was initially actually zoned for residential homes. And Carl Berg, many years ago, said, I really want to build some commercial buildings up in, housing, residential housing, up in North San Jose. Went to the city, said, can I switch the zoning? I'll make this parcel a commercial parcel if you let me build housing on something that's commercial. And the city said yes. Do you think that satisfied him? No, because now he's back with this. What you need to know is this initiative affects the entire General 2040 plan. It is not about one piece. Can you keep going? You see this big black splotch down here? If they can get 910 homes up in that little spot up there, which is Evergreen, okay? So Evergreen's up there. How many homes do you think they might try? How many homes do you think they might try to put in Coyote Valley? Or in any of those black spots in the city? Not high density, not near any transportation, not near services. And that's why they want this passed. And they're hoping that you guys aren't paying attention. And if you don't believe me, go online, go to the city of San Jose, go look at the initiative and read it. I have. And the very first sentence will tell you. When I did a presentation with the guy, he tried to say, no, that's not true. And then he tried to say, with the part that we read,
From
that
the
the
initiative.
city, from the initiative, that it was the city that had put that in there. When in fact, lo and behold, it was the exact wording that their attorney had sent to the city when they submitted the initiative to get for the petition. They don't like their own words. All right. How much will this cost us? Well, how many of you are really happy with the police response time? How many people think we have enough parks? How many people think we have enough libraries? You guys have to come all the way down here. Is there a library here, you guys?
You still do this.
This is it. I mean, but this is not really close, is it? It's close to me. I like it. I got too close to me. All of these things, do you think there's a prayer that you're ever going to get a library at this point? Or anything if we build out Coyote Valley? Sure, more people, but what's going to happen is it's going to be a drain on our general fund. Why? Because housing does not provide the same amount of income as commercial. And you take away that light industrial, you take away that ability, we aren't going to see the money. But we're going to have to provide police, we're going to have to provide fire, and that's going to be a drain. Minimally, that's going to be a cost if all those areas were developed, because they're low density too. And we're going to pay that. And the developers have written this in such a way that they eliminate their ability to have to pay for much of anything. All right. How many people in here think that the state, city, county, federal government is going to build another freeway in our area? Okay. So they're not going to build a freeway, but we're adding lots of jobs, aren't we? How many people have been on 85 or 87 in the morning? Okay, it's a parking lot. The last thing we need to do is to add more housing down here that isn't near transit, right? We want to get people on the light rail. If we were to keep the areas in Coyote Valley that are designated for business, as well as in Evergreen, what will that do?
Reverse commute.
Yeah, that's about the only solution, okay, to get some of these businesses to come down here more in the industrial park over, where's it off the hill here? What's the incubator area?
Silver Creek?
Yeah, I mean, there are some areas around here but that gets people going the other way, and that helps all of us. Okay. Oh, this one's my favorite one.
How come we can't get a bike freeway like China?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, what's all the car freeways, more cars, we're gonna be dead. Well, in the next 7 years, all this cars, freeways.
Well,
We should
okay.
get a freeway for bikes like China.
Yeah, well, they're putting in more bike lanes, which is good. So now this is I found this because I read the initiative. So you know all those flyers that we got showing us with the veterans and the sad-looking old people who are, look like they need help, which, is, we want to help people who need housing, right? So you get the impression that this housing is going to do, just great things for these people, right? Now, when you think of affordable housing or low-income housing, do you think of ownership or rental? Usually don't you think that it's probably low-income rental property? That's what they're trying to do with this, right? But right now, the city requires that people of low-income and very low-income incomes are taken care of. If this is passed, this is going to change so that people of low and very low income are not going to be served at the same numbers. But here's the kicker. They're going to build 20% of the total number of dwelling units in the plan area shall either. Now the plan area, 800 homes, 800 or 700 and something, gated community. Affordable housing outside the gated community. Be made available for rent at an affordable housing cost with those numbers. okay? Or, and this is key, or be made available for purchase at an affordable housing cost to households earning no more than 110% of the area median income. Area median income is about $120,000, 110% of it. These homes are going to cost, the affordable, moderate ones are going to cost probably about $700,000. Now I'm going to ask you guys all this. How many people in this room think that Carl Berg and Ponderosa Homes wants to build affordable, low-income rental units, that's choice one, or units they can sell and be done with? So how many people think that the rental units will get built? How many people think that the for sale units will get built? Okay? Yeah. And this is the kicker. At the time of the first approval of the project, the applicant, who's the applicant? Ponderosa Homes, shall elect to comply with one of the above bulleted paragraphs. Not a combination, but one of them. So all this mail, and this is why I am so angry about this, because these are straight out lies. And they keep saying veterans will get preferences. Sure, if you have money. The median cost of the homes that they're going to build, the median cost of the gated community is well over $1 million. There'll be some below that and many more above it. It's a gated community for people who have a lot of money. And it will be for people 55 and older. And there are California senior living laws that they have to follow for this community. So that means, kids can't live there, so on and so forth. There's requirements for that.
Jackie, can I know you're getting into this so much detail, the lies, but the big picture is the city of San Jose runs on a plan called 2040 plan, like you said, and we need the commercial property to pay our taxes. That money goes for police, fire, parks, libraries. That's the big picture. I don't care if they gave all the homes free to everybody. We're not going to get the income to have the police officers protect us. I think that's the bigger picture.
We're not going to have police here because they're going to be busy going out to Coyote and Evergreen. But you're right.
But listen to what he's saying. What he is saying is, let's not screw up the plan that we spent hours, actually years putting together and voted on by a coalition of folks to. This will upset that totally. That's the key. Not all of the rest of this is very important, Jackie, but people need to understand that the master plan is going to go out the window if this gets
that's
approved.
one of the slides. So that was one of the things that we're getting to.
I know you're getting into all these lies, and we know people lie, right? I mean, these flyers. I don't even read them. I don't care what it is. I just throw them away because you got to look at the details.
But you're right. The 2040 plan was created over 4 years with lots of public input. I mean, anybody and everyone could come and do the input. And those things were considered in the 2040 plan about what people wanted for this city. This has been drawn up by one person, a developer, with how many people were invited to a community meeting to input into this initiative? No. Now, they will also tell you, and it exempts developers from planning requirements, it changes our 2040 plan, and it opens up a can of worms that we're never going to be able to get put back again. But you can keep going. It sets a precedent that we don't want to do. The other thing is with Measure C, they keep sending stuff out that says it was done behind closed doors. It wasn't. 2 city council meetings, I just got a thing today that said with no public input. And that is a bull-faced lie. Because the city council, you can go in and talk at the city council. There's public comment when you go into the city council. And here they say Measure C has had no public input. And that's a bull-faced lie. So Measure C was done at the city council. They had 2 meetings, and then the 3rd meeting they voted on it. If you like having one person who's a billionaire decide how our community is going to live, then vote for this. If you care about your community, please make sure to get involved. You can email me. I have signs that you can put up, and they are important because if you put the sign up, people will ask you, well, why are you against it? And if you are against it, you can explain to them. But it's a very dangerous initiative. It's not about building for senior housing.
So Measure C keeps intact the 2040 plan or not?
It makes it harder for somebody to circumvent the 2040 plan. That's the best way to explain it. It's 12 pages. You can read it online.
Okay.
That's the abridged version.
Yeah, I just wondering, okay, they didn't put this measure on because of the other two. This is the measure that keeps 2040 in line.
Yes.
Any general plan.
Yeah, but
2060, whatever.
It just makes it much harder to do.
To change it.
it's really a bad way, and it's going to end up in court. I mean, if nothing else, I think that knowing that people can send information out that isn't true, clearly, and the Mercury News has come out against it, and a lot of open space people, but mainly my biggest thing is this is a huge document that they're seeking to change, and they don't care what you think.
Measure C is very hard to explain. I personally can't give you a rational explanation for it. I don't see anything wrong with it. Measure B?
Yeah.
Measure C is simple, and she has it right there.
Yeah,
Measure C is gonna say, hey, if you have like Coyote Valley that's commercial, and you wanna convert it to housing, 50% has to be affordable housing. They're making a rule, not just some political, ballot.
The other thing I want to tell you, how they keep touting affordability. In order to build the rentals that they want, they'd have to get financing probably, or support from the federal government or the city. They would not qualify for any of that. There's requirements, and that's why the permanent housing is probably going to get built. But it's really bad, and the other thing is, the reason they did what they did, they wanted to slip it through during the primary because they know that voters don't come out and vote as much during a primary as opposed to the general. So they think every one of us is stupid and we're going to fall for this, but we're not. We're going to vote this town and send them packing, and you can help do that. And if you really care about your community, tell people, because they have ballots right now. Does anybody have any other questions?
I make a comment, I really appreciate Greg mentioning that Las Vegas Neighborhood Association is not endorsing this or for it or against it. It's personally your feelings. It seems like a lot of people's feelings in here. So I appreciate you saying that, Greg.
Yeah, I've lived here for a long time, and I'm an activist, and the community is beautiful. We want to keep the community beautiful, but we can't. And when I know that Coyote Valley is going to be sprawled if this gets passed, and what it will do to us as a community, as many people will listen, we want to get out there and just let them know. So does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, could you say just a little bit more on Measure C? Because I'm seeing here the San Jose City Council placed Measure C on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I'm going to your first bullet there. So it's basically should be passed, then C is a way to counteract it?
Yes. So if B passes and C passes, then C takes precedence, which pretty much puts B into being ineffectual because they'll have to follow these guidelines. And C was on the ballot by the city council. The city council can put whatever it wants on the ballot after they follow the right steps. B had to go through the initiative process. And I know a lot of people who signed to get it on the ballot because they were told they were signing for affordable housing for seniors, which this is not.
I have a question. For any veteran or senior with low income, in order to afford to rent one of those units, they will have to apply for the Section A, right? To get the city money. Did anybody make a study how much it would cost us, the taxpayers and city, for the Section 8?
No, I don't think it wouldn't. Section 8, I have a rental. I can rent the Section 8 for $5,000 a month. And Section 8 might pay $4,000, and people pay $1,000. So Section 8 doesn't require to be a low price rent. This is from her foil, and I don't know about that, but it's saying that it has to be like a $2,000 rent when it's really worth $4,000. So Section 8, I don't think would get involved.
But I mean, nobody really knows because it's so vague. The other thing about the veterans, it's illegal to rent to any one group over another, including veterans, unless you're a government agency or a nonprofit. And I built a housing development for just veterans. So they can't, I don't know when they say give a veteran a preference. Well, okay, you see you're a veteran and you got, $1.5 million to buy a house. He's gonna buy his house. Okay, you're a veteran and you have $100,000, sorry, goodbye. So that's the preference that they'll give you as a veteran. If you've got the money and you can get in, or the $700,000 if they decide to sell those units. There will not be, I guarantee you, there will not be rental units. Ponderosa Homes is not getting in the business of renting houses. They're just not going to.
Senior housing because it's going to be for 55 and older.
Yeah.
That's what I understand from some of the presentations. And
Again, whatever they do, it's wrong because of the money we're losing for income to support our infrastructure. That's the big, I'm telling you, that's what I tell my neighbors. That is because housing does not pay for itself. And one of the reasons San Jose has problems and Santa Clara doesn't have as many, Santa Clara has a higher ratio of businesses to houses. So they get a lot of money that comes in to take care of their roads and other things, right? San Jose has always provided more housing. That's right.
And because of that, we don't have as much income, even though we do have, a good amount, but because we're also housing 1,100,000 people, right?
I heard a statistic that puts San Jose's budget problem in a nutshell. San Jose is the only major city in the United States where during the middle of the day there are fewer people in the city than there are at night. In other words, everybody, a significant percentage of the San Jose population goes somewhere else to work and comes home to sleep in San Jose.
It's a bedroom.
And it's the only major city in the United States that has that imbalance.
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to bring people downtown, businesses, and, Google, which is going to cause problems in and of itself. But we do need to do those things, and that's why taking any kind of land for, commercial and changing it without even having a discussion. Maybe you agree, maybe you think Measure B is great, but where's the conversation about it? Where can the community weigh in? It's our vote, and it's going to be a mess.
Now, the city put this up. Would the city put any money into countering these ads?
They can't. The city cannot. They can put it up, but what they have done is there's an organization of people, and they have raised some money, separately. Not the city, but the people have.
Because I know you're a volunteer. This is the second meeting I've seen you at. And I was at the other meeting with the guy's bull-faced lies. I mean,
What did I?
told him a lie.
Well, was I truthful about what he said? If you remember what he said, isn't that what he said at the other meeting?
Anytime you call him, and then he left early.
Yeah. Well, he did tell me ahead of time he had to leave early. I want to be honest. So, he did. He said he had another engagement, but he did not. This is really bad, and it's bad enough, fake news and all that. But I don't know what to tell you. I just hope that we can work together. Come get a sign for me. I'll bring it to you. Let me know.
We put him up.
See? Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacquie.
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know about this. Excuse me. The meeting's not over yet. I'd like to make one more comment. You've all got your ballots. Most of you probably have your ballots at home already. on the San Jose website, you can read the city attorney's impartial analysis of this, and I think you guys have seen that on this piece of paper. You can get the full, both sides of the information on this measure at the San Jose City site. So, just thought I'd let you know.
I mean, that's a high
Thank you very much. And our next meeting is going to be, when is our next meeting? Maybe you can tell me. August 16th. Another Thursday night. After our national night out. So at this moment, is there any other questions or comments for the members here? Mike, anything? Thank you for attending, everybody. Meeting's adjourned.